Hey guys, hey gals, what is going on? What is happening? What is grilling? Welcome back to another edition of Grill and Thrill. No funny hats today, no glasses, none of that stuff. This is not going to be a deplorable edition video. This is strictly a grilling video. This is an instructional video. So, now let's get right to it. I'm going to crack one. Again, we're drinking our everyday beer, Hams. Helps clear the throat a little bit. So, as you see in the title, we're doing poor man's lobster today. Basically, you take a whitefish, any whitefish. You can use halibut, Alaskan pollock, tilapia, cod, any whitefish. You'll see that I used like frozen fillets. I would suggest using fresh caught, or from your store there. And you will see that I used lemon juice instead of actually just cutting up a lemon and putting it in the boiling pot. I would suggest trying a whole lemon instead. Other than that, taste was very similar to lobster. I'm going to toy with the recipe, see if it does make a difference. I will let you guys know on that. But other than that, that's really all I have to say. We'll go ahead and get right to the video. It's kind of a long one because I show you how to make the dipping butter sauce as well. And all right, screw it. Watch this. All right, for the butter sauce, guys, as you see, I've got some butter in this here bowl. I've got it set on my skillet. That way I don't need to do it over an open flame. But if you're going to do it over your stove or whatever, do it on your back burner, the little one, because you don't need a whole lot of flame. All you want to do is slowly melt this butter until it starts to boil. And you'll see what that looks like here in just a second. All right, guys, as you can see, it's starting to boil a little bit. Basically what that's doing is that is what you call clarifying the butter. And as you can see, you're starting to get a little bit of foam off to the side there. You want to kind of scoop that foam out. And all the milk solids are dropping to the bottom of the pan. Try to clean your spoon off each time. What I'm doing is I'm just putting that on a plate, paper plate to be thrown out later. Now, different people will tell you different ways to do this. They say once it starts boiling like that to take it off and wait for it to cool. Others say let it boil hard. You're just going to have to figure out what you like the best, how clear you want it. If you guys don't know why you clarify butter, it's because the milk fats, when you're cooking, you ever notice your butter starts burning? That's the milk fats. You get them out of there and you got some really nice cooking oil, sauce oil or butter for sauces. I'm going to let this continue boil for a little bit and then we'll do some more. And after that I'll show you the next step. Alright guys, so I got a lot of it out of there. I know what I'm using this butter for, so I don't necessarily need it totally clarified. I'm going to be using it for my dipping sauce for the lobster, and I'm going to use it to cook some of the fish in. But what I'm going to do now, the next step, is you got to strain that. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put it through a strainer, and I'll show you that. Alright, as you guys can see, I've got another container here. Usually I would use a glass container. That way I can put it in the fridge. If I'm not going to use it right away, it'll last probably 4, 5, 6 months, maybe longer, depending on how well you clarify it in the fridge. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, I got just a regular strainer. You can run it through that, or if you really want to try to catch those the milk fats that are at the bottom, you just run it through a coffee filter as well. Now the coffee filter does tend to plug up a little bit, so you'll have to do it nice and slow. But you guys can see right in here, I think you guys can see that. All that white stuff, those are milk fats. I wanted to show you guys this too. I don't know if you can see it. There's a lot of water and stuff left in the bottom as well. When straining it, you really should try not to get that water and the milk fats to go through your strainer. But I'm kind of pressed for time, and again, I'm using all of this right away, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to use this same pan. I'm just going to wipe it out real good. And I'm going to put it right back over here on my heat. Now while the rest of that's draining out, like I said, I put the pan back on my heat. Now what I'm going to do is I got a little bit of fresh chopped garlic. I don't want to burn it, so we're going to do this quickly. Get that in there. Got some chopped onion. Get that in there. And about a tablespoon. We're going to toss in a little bit of white wine. Maybe another tablespoon or two. We're just going to stir that around for about a minute. Depending on how high your heat is. You just want that garlic to just slightly brown. You don't want to burn it. Now here's what we strained out of that butter. See all that? It's all milk, fat, and water. See how that can get thrown out? Here's what we're left with. As you can see, there's still a little bit of water in the bottom of that. It didn't catch all that water, but you could go through and redo it again, or put it in your refrigerator, and that'll actually separate real well. But I'm using this right away, so I'm not really too worried about it. I'm going to put this right back in this pan. And then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of lemon, which would equal about 1 whole lemon squeezed. I'm going to go ahead and stir that up. Now we're going to go ahead and let that boil. We're going to go ahead and let that boil up. And that'll be our dipping sauce and our frying sauce. If you want, you can add a little bit more garlic to it, or even some other spices, depending on how you want it. You want to add a little salt to it, being that it was unsalted butter to begin with. You can add a little salt to taste, a little more garlic powder if you want, or some lemon pepper maybe. All these things go pretty good. I know people even put a little bit of dill or something in there. I'm going to go ahead and just shake a little bit of salt in there. Just a little bit. So there's that. That's your sauce. Alright guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take this whitefish. This is the Alaskan pollock. These are just frozen fillets that I had got from the store. They're still a little bit frozen, so they'll thaw out real quick though. And basically you can use any white fish for this recipe. You can use cod, halibut, tilapia, any white fish whatsoever for this. I would recommend buying it, you know, a fresh fillet or something, a nice thick one. You basically want 1 inch by 1 inch little pieces. So we're just going to go ahead and cut these up about 1 inch. All right, there we go. Now once those are thawed, I'll show you what to do with them. All right guys, so we're at the skillet right now, and what I'm going to do is, here's some of that butter that we clarified. I'm just going to drop this on the skillet. Again, because this stuff will not burn, unlike regular butter. Excuse my reach. We're just going to spread that out a little bit. Now this is just for some regular fish, just so I can see if there's this is the first time I'm making this poor man's lobster, so I'm going to make some of the same stuff, the Alaskan pollock, and see how much of a taste difference there actually is. I'm just going to cook these on low heat, just kind of simmer them and fry them. Alright guys, I had to switch cameras here. As you can see, I've got a pot of boiling water at a roaring boil. To that, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. Without doing that. And what you're going to want to do is slice up 1 lemon and put that in there. I don't happen to have a lemon, so we're just going to dump a bunch of lemon juice in there. You're going to let that come back to a roaring boil again. You're going to stir it. Make sure you get all that sugar mixed in there. Now during this process, this will be the only time you stir this. Do not stir it after this. Alright guys, now what you're going to do is you're just going to take your lobster chunks and you're going to put them in there. And they're going to sink right to the bottom. Actually, they're not lobster chunks, they're fish chunks. We're making lobster. You might want to keep track of how many you put in there, just so you know how many you're supposed to take out, which I already lost count. Go figure. We'll do that many for now. As you see, you know, it stopped boiling. Once it starts boiling again, you'll get a lot of foam. You got to keep your eye on it, because it will boil over on you. Now this will take probably about 10 minutes or so. You can see them starting to float to the top a little bit. Alright guys, as you can see, you got a little bit of foam in here. Yep, see that? Just want to make sure, here's one right here. Get your little scoop in there. Ow, that's hot. See, these are done. So we're going to set them over here on a rack real quick, just to let them drain a little. See, they're all starting to come up now. Kind of like fishing. Patience. Shit. Got away. Damn it. I need a bigger spoon is what I need. That's all a bunch of little pieces now. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat back up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of them in. Alright guys, so here we got our poor man's lobster, and we have our fried regular pollock. So we'll go ahead and try this. Is that clarified butter sauce with the garlic and everything in it. That's pretty good. Tastes like fish to me. Smaller piece here. Now here's the lobster stuff. Fake lobster stuff. Oh yeah. Now I can taste it. Took a minute. Definitely got a different texture than the fish, even though it's the same exact animal. So, kudos. There you go. I would maybe add a little bit more sugar or a little bit more lemon into my boiling pot next time. But other than that, awesome. Try it. Check it out. Alright guys, like I said, I would have changed a couple things. I said it in the beginning. Would have used a real lemon. Yeah, and I would have bought fresh fish instead of using the frozen. I will try it again at some point, and I will let you guys know. Maybe even do a update video for it. Most important thing is in that boiling pot, once you stir that sugar in, once you get that all mixed in and it's boiling good, do not stir it after that. You'll ruin it. You'll ruin your lobster. Fake lobster. You'll ruin it. So, oh, I put them on a little rack to cool for a minute to drain off some of that water and stuff. I don't suggest it. Some people say do it. I don't suggest it. Maybe put a paper towel down on your plate or something. Throw them on there. Get them to the table and eat them as fast as you can, because once they get cold, just like lobster or crab legs or whatever, they become kind of rubbery and they kind of lose their flavor a little bit. So, good point. Alright guys, till next time, like I said, we're going to try to do 1 to 2 videos a week, maybe 1 growing, 1 deplorable, 2 growing, 2 deplorable. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. I ran short of time this week, but so this is the 1 video for this week. Next week we'll try to get 2 out, see what we can do. Till next time, remember, crack 1, pack 1, grill and thrill.